Hi family, I miss you so much. Welcome back to this channel. Today we are going to talk about something so deep that has changed destinies, has broken chains, has opened doors and has shifted the entire bloodline. What happens when you pray at night? Not just prayers, but midnight prayers. This is the hour where heaven opens in unusual way and warfare intensifies in unseen world. So stay with me till the end of this video, because before we are done today, you will fully understand why demons fear midnight prayers and why breakthrough often happens when others are asleep. And you will also learn how you can tap into the most powerful window that God gave to mankind. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so that we can grow together. Now let's start like this. Midnight is not just a time, it is a spiritual gate. Jesus himself spoke about the bridegroom coming at night. That is Matthew chapter 25 verses 6. As you can see also, we have Paul and Silas. They prayed at midnight and their chain fell off, and also God executed judgment in Egypt at midnight. So we can say that midnight is a transition between one day to another. And since you are a spirit, you are either entering into victory or into warfare. Midnight separates those who watch from those who are spiritually weak. So what happens when you pray at midnight? When you pray at midnight, chains break. Let's look at the examples of Paul and Silas. They were praying at night. They were not praying at 3 p.m. or at sunrise. They chose midnight. When you read the scriptures in Acts chapter 16, they prayed and worshipped at night, and the foundation of the prison shook. Doors opened and chained fell off. What does this actually mean, or what does this tell us? This one tells us that midnight prayers confuses the enemy. Midnight prayers does not ask for permission. It breaks things open. And midnight prayers, let me tell you my friend, it brings angelic intervention. Maybe you've been feeling spiritually stuck in a cycle that no one can tell. Then midnight prayer is your spiritual jailbreaker. Most demonic activities intensifies at night. This is where attacks comes through negative thinkings, confusions, sudden fear, emotions, strange nightmares, and even confusions. Why? Because the enemy loves uncarded hours. Midnight is where witches, sorcerers, and spiritual enemies begins their operations. But here's the good news. A believer who wakes up at midnight becomes spiritually untouched. No weapon fashioned against you can prosper when you intercept before it forms. Ever noticed how your mind is clearer at night? No distractions, no phone ringings, no noise, just you and God. Samuel had God at night. Jacob wrestled with God at night, and Daniel received visions at night. Sometimes God waits for midnight. That's when your spirit is finally quiet enough to listen. If you've been trying to seek God for directions, for answers, for clarity, try seeking Him between 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. So what happens in the spirit when you pray at midnight? Let's try to break down what happens when you pray at midnight. Number one, we have angelic activities increases because you are praying during spiritual peak. And again, your spirit becomes more sensitive. You can hear God clearer when you pray at night. Number 3 is that darkness weakens. Your prayer becomes a light invading the territory that the enemy is occupying. Again, strongholds begins to break, especially family curses, addictions, stagnations. Why? Because these midnight prayers targets root problems. And also your faith intensifies. There's something about sacrificing a sleep that heaven responds. And also heaven recognizes discipline. God honors those who seek him in uncomfortable hour. Let me share you a real experience that we had with our family. Now, we were struggling with generational curses, but I thank God because he brought my younger brother, who is right now a pastor somewhere in West Pokot. So we prayed for 7 nights. There are 4 sessions that a Christian should pray. And he used to tell me that you can pray at midnight, at 6 p.m., 9 a.m., and 3 p.m. So we decided to pray at midnight, and we prayed for 7 nights. The toxic atmosphere at our home changed. The chain broke, and we are seeing miracle. As I'm speaking right now, 2 of my sisters have traveled abroad and they have found colorful jobs by just praying at midnight and breaking generational curses, addictions, and other things. These are not random stories. Midnight prayers sets atmosphere. So let me give you a plan on how to pray at midnight. Number 1, make sure to set the atmosphere. Soft worship, dim light, silence, and make sure to put your phone in an airplane mode. Once you have done that, step 2 is start with thanksgiving. Gratitude opens spiritual darkness. Step 3 is worship. Worship disarms darkness. And step 4 is scripture declaration. Declare scriptures such as Psalms 91, Isaiah 54 verses 17, 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verses 4, and finally Psalms 27. Now step 5, go deep into prayers. Pray for cleaning, deliverance, direction, breakthrough, and covering. And step 6, sit in silence. God often speaks after prayer. And step 7, end with thanksgiving. Seal everything with faith.